remote broadcast of the Pink Table Talk, coming to you live from St. Matthew CME Church. Today, joining my special guest is
Tonnie Boston. I'm here representing Versity Organ and Tissue, and I'm happy to be here with Dana today for the Pink Table Talk.
Awesome. So I am so fortunate to be sitting next to her. So just want to ask her one quick question, and hopefully you all will follow us either on Facebook or Instagram. And if you're not watching live right now, you'll be able to pick this up on tomorrow, as it'll be broadcast on the Pink Table Talks page and via YouTube. So Tonnie, can you please just tell the folks who are listening to us that are currently here in Milwaukee and watching across the country as well, why is it important to have a self-check or for women to get mammograms?
It is very important for women to get mammograms. And probably on an annual basis, I would say, just to make sure that you understand and know your health, to make sure your breasts are healthy. If not, getting the exam helps you to detect anything that's wrong at an early stage. So it is very important to get your mammogram, ladies.
Well, I appreciate you so very much. Full disclosure, Tonnie and I are sitting next to each other at our tables, and I asked her to come over and she politely agreed. So I appreciate you coming once again and going live with us. And thank you all for watching the Pink Table Talk. Please follow us again on Facebook or Instagram or our website, thepinktabletalk.org. Hello, we're back again live from St. Matthew CME Church. I'm your host, Dana Johnson of the Pink Table Talk, and joining me today is my special guest,
Sandra James.
Thank you for joining me today. Today's broadcast is simply just to touch on personal stories of survivors and women talking about why it's important to have self-examinations and mammograms. We're speaking to Sandra today because she is a survivor, and we just simply like to ask you if you could tell our audience that's watching us from Milwaukee and across the country a little bit about your personal story.
Well, I am a 13-year breast cancer survivor. Actually, it'll be 13 years. I found my lump in October of 2008. So I had invasive ductal carcinoma is what they said it was. And I had chemotherapy and radiation. I was getting breast examinations. I was getting my yearly mammograms. Actually, my mom had breast cancer, and she passed away when I was 3 years old. So I was really on it as far as making sure I got my mammograms and everything. And I actually had a mammogram December 31st of 2007 and found the lump October 2008. So it had not even been a year. My surgeon was Dr. Anthony Lynn, and he was just a blessing. He told me it was going to be a journey, and it most definitely was. But I thank my family, my church family, my co-workers, and friends that helped me get through it, because I'm the type of person that I talked about it, I told people, and I continue to tell people, because I'm just hoping that maybe by me telling someone that maybe I can make it a little bit easier. I found that people always tell you the horror stories of breast cancer and chemotherapy, and mine was not, and everybody's journey is different. But I advise everyone to do self breast examinations and get your mammograms, because early detection is early cure. And I think we need to teach our young women, our teenagers, that it's okay to do a self breast exam. Sometimes the stigma is that, oh, I'm not supposed to touch myself, that it's something bad about it, and it's not. You need to know your body. You know your body better than anyone. So you know if something feels different, if it looks different. So be proactive and start early. Do your exams, do your breast exams, pick a day. every month and say, okay, this day I'm going to do it, with my morning shower. I'm going to do my exam, and get your mammograms starting at the age that they recommend. Make sure you get your mammograms, because I'm here. I'm here. And my mom, at the age I am now, my mom wasn't here anymore. So do that and survive.
Well, I appreciate you.
Thank you.
And I respect you for being able to make the voices be heard at the table, and also to touch on the fact that it's important for young ladies to feel comfortable with themselves, because as you said, there are stigmas within the community where they don't feel as though they can do a self-examination. And you hear that once you get to the doctor, but as we're starting to learn, breast cancer is being detected at earlier ages.
Yes.
So knowing to do a self-examination is extremely important, and I appreciate you having a seat at the table with me today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all for joining us live from St. Matthew's CME Church, the fruit orchard on 9th Street, but we are reporting here today from our new location on 7500 North 76th Street. You can follow us on Facebook or Instagram at The Pink Table Talk, also on our website, thepinktabletalk.org. Bye. Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Pink Table Talk. My name is Dana Johnson. I'm your host, and joining me today is Sheryl. Thank you for joining me.
You're welcome.
I appreciate having her here with me. She has been a mentor in the church as well as a dear friend. So just being able to have her here and to have a seat at the table to talk about the importance of self-examinations and mammograms is a pleasure. So my question to you is, if you can just talk to our audience who may be viewing here from Milwaukee or across the country, why do you feel that it is important for women to get a mammogram and to have self-examinations themselves?
Well, for early detection, number one, and personally for me, I'm supposed to get that every year, but I missed last year because of COVID, so I'm scheduled to have one Tuesday.
Perfect.
Even though cancer runs in our, not breast cancer, but cancer runs in our family. So I'm just very careful and aware that it can hit at any time, at any spot. Any cancer doesn't discriminate. So I think it's important that all women self-exam, have your mammograms for early detection, because then you have the best chance of a recovery.
Perfect. So you mentioned the aspect of COVID, and with us still being in the pandemic, and I don't want people to lose sight of that, the Pink Table Talk was birthed through the pandemic on October 15th of 2020. And at its infancy, we were wearing masks, and we were just making certain that people were aware that doctors were still available, whether it be through a video call or not. But what were some of the conversations, or what ran through your mind when, like you said, your appointment came up last year, but you decided to wait until this year? So were there certain things in regards to COVID that kind of struck you to wait?
Yes, because I, at that time, they didn't have the vaccination.
Okay.
And the numbers for COVID were very, very high. And actually, they weren't doing mammograms at that time. With my time, last year in March or April, they weren't doing mammograms. And because I was not having any immediate needs, and they take blood work, and that was all normal, so decided to wait until this year.
Well, I thank you for joining me today and for having a seat at the table, and just continuing to have the conversation about the importance of self-examinations, mammograms, and just making certain that you are having just that relationship with your doctor. And it sounds as though you have a great relationship with yours.
Yes.
And I thank you for having a seat at the table.
You're welcome.
Again, you can follow us on Facebook or on Instagram at The Pink Table Talk, or via our website, thepinktabletalk.org. We thank you for joining us today. Bye.
Bye.
And we're back from St. Matthew's CME Church, 7500 North 76th Street, recording live with The Pink Table Talk. And joining me today as our special guest, our one and only Shelton Watkins Sr. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Dana.
I appreciate it. So those of you who were joining us earlier today, we had 3 women who came to the table and just shared their own personal stories about self-examinations and regarding mammograms. But it's important for us to highlight men's health as well. So we've welcomed Shelton to the table to tell his story. So,
thank you, Dana. And my story is a personal one regarding men's health. Back in 2007, I went in for a regular checkup, and I was told that everything was fine. I had never been ill, never been to the hospital with any serious illness, but I had been experiencing some shortness of breath, and I mentioned that to my physician, and he thought it would be best if I had a stress test. And the results of the stress test showed that I had 3 of my main arteries clogged over 90%.
wow.
And I could have died at any time from a massive heart attack. And 2 weeks after that, I had open heart surgery, triple bypass heart surgery, and they were able to remove those arteries and replace them. And went through rehab, and this was 2007, so 14, 15 years later, I feel fine. But I just want to reemphasize the fact that if I had not been going to the doctor and getting my regular checkups and sharing with him some of the things that were going on, with my health, then they would never have caught that in time. So thanks be to God for all of this, and I just pray that all men will take their health very seriously and go get a checkup, whether it's prostate, whether it's your heart, or whatever it is, kidneys. Make sure you get a regular checkup.
Well, I appreciate you. I do have to say in full disclosure that I admire this man because he actually goes back to the days with my dad at what is now Molson Coors, but formerly Miller Brewing Company. So we have a history not only within our church family, but just him coming together and knowing my parents. And that was special to me that he was able to join me for a seat at the table and talk about men's health, because it is important. And unfortunately, men just aren't as vocal about their health as women are. They don't go to the doctor as often as women do. So to hear you say that that was important to you and you made a valid effort to do that is extremely a blessing, because we wouldn't have you here today sharing your story. So is there any parting words that you would like to leave with those of us that are joining from Milwaukee or across the country?
Just want to reemphasize the fact that men, as Dana said, men don't always follow up with their doctors on a regular basis, and they don't always tell them what's going on with their health. So I would implore you to get regular checkups, and whenever you don't feel right, something different is going on, then you need to go and tell your physician and have a trusted physician to let you know what's really going on with your body, and then you follow up with whatever he prescribes for you to do.
I appreciate you. Thank you all again for joining us for a seat at the table. Again, I'm Dana Johnson, your host for the Pink Table Talk. You can follow us on Facebook at the Pink Table Talk, or on Instagram at the Pink Table Talk, or via our website, thepinktabletalk.org. We appreciate you. Bye. The Pink Table Talk will be offering our fabulously scented, custom labeled Pink Table Talk candle. Each one hand poured by Cheyenne Candles as a symbol of continuous support to the causes and awareness of breast cancer. The candle light, we'd like to say, represents an eternal flame that will burn in memory to the lives lost and in commemoration to those who continue the fight with cancer and our never-ending crusade to bring awareness. Proceeds from purchasing go to the building of the Pink Table Talk advocacy and outreach, as well as our ability to support other programs and agencies in kind. Thank you for joining us.